Doctor Doom is not the villain of Avengers Doomsday. He's the protagonist. He's the only one with a plan to save the multiverse from total annihilation. And the problem is, the heroes are standing in his way. This isn't just a theory. It's a conclusion built on a pattern of leaks, rumors, and narrative logic that Marvel has been laying for years. Stick with me, I'll show you the hidden clues and the timeline math that prove Doomsday isn't a battle. It's a race between rival saviors, a catastrophic collision that will burn everything down to build Battleworld. Let's start with the clearest signal we have. Recently, a flurry of reports all started repeating the same strange idea. One puts it plainly. Doctor Doom is described as the hero in Avengers Doomsday. Another immediately clarifies this, stating it's similar to Thanos was portrayed in Avengers Infinity War. The surface reading is simple. Doom is just another complex villain with a point. We've seen it before. He's a bad guy who thinks he's doing the right thing. But if you really look at the timing and the specific word choice, something else emerges. The word isn't protagonist or sympathetic villain, it's hero, in quotes. This isn't just about motive, it's about narrative framing. The story of Doomsday might actually be his story, just as Infinity War was Thanos's. The leaks don't say he's a good guy. They say he's trying to stop Incursions and save the multiverse. This reframes the entire conflict from one of good versus evil to an ideological war over how to survive the apocalypse. And that's not random. This idea is echoed across a dozen other reports from supposedly reliable sources. We're told this film won't just be the Avengers versus Doom. The battlefield is crowded. Leaked breakdowns list at least 6 primary factions. Sam Wilson's Avengers, the New Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, a team following Loki, and, crucially, Team Doom. Why would a simple tyrant need a team of heroes? Because he's not recruiting minions. One of the most persistent rumors claims Doom goes to Wanda offering her a chance at redemption. He isn't seeking power, he's seeking allies who understand that salvation requires sacrifice. He's building a coalition of the willing, those powerful and broken enough to do what must be done. This isn't a conquest, it's a crusade. Here's where it gets interesting. This crusade creates intensely personal stakes for 2 of the MCU's most pivotal characters. For Wanda Maximoff, Doom's offer of redemption is a direct challenge to her entire arc. After the events of WandaVision and Multiverse of Madness, she is a pariah. An offer to use her immense power not for selfish reasons, but to save all of existence would be nearly impossible to refuse. It's the one thing she's always wanted, to be seen as a hero, not a monster. But the true collision is with Loki. At the end of his series, Loki found his glorious purpose. He became the god of stories, sacrificing his freedom to sit on a throne at the end of time, physically holding the infinite branches of the multiverse together. Now, a rumor states Doom needs his throne to take over complete control and save the multiverse. This makes the conflict existential for Loki. His sacrifice, his ultimate act of selflessness, is now just a resource for Doom to exploit. A man who finally found his place as the multiverse's silent protector is now its primary target. Let's be real. The central threat of the multiverse saga is the Incursions, realities crashing into each other, wiping out trillions. Both Loki and Doom want to stop this, but their methods represent 2 fundamentally opposed philosophies. Loki's solution is custodial. He holds the broken system together, preserving life and free will at the cost of his own. He is a living bandage on a fatal wound, maintaining a fragile status quo. Doom's solution, as suggested by the leaks, is surgical and absolute. He sees the multiverse not as a garden to be tended, but as a disease that must be cured, even if the cure is brutal. He plans to use the reality-warping power of the Fantastic Four's Franklin Richards, combined with Wanda's chaos magic, to collapse all realities into a single, stable timeline, one that he controls. This isn't a fight anymore. It's a theological war, and this changes everything. The film isn't about defeating a villain, it's about choosing which form of salvation is worth the cost, knowing both paths lead to ruin. This is why Avengers Doomsday isn't the end, it's the catalyst. The conflict between these 6 factions, Loki's rumored Exiles team featuring characters like Deadpool, Wolverine, and Captain Carter, Doom's Cabal, the Splintered Avengers, the F4, and the X-Men, is designed for mutually assured destruction. No one will win. Their war for the multiverse will be the very thing that destroys it. The Doomsday of the title isn't Doom's plan, it's the inevitable outcome of their conflict. And as the Incursions reach their final, unstoppable peak, Doom will make his final move. He won't succeed in saving the multiverse, but he will succeed in salvaging the wreckage. Using the powers he's gathered, Wanda, Franklin, maybe even the energy from Loki's throne, he will seize the last remaining fragments of dead and dying universes and forge them into a single, scarred planet. A planet ruled by a god king. A planet called Battleworld. The apparent end of Doomsday is actually the cold open for Avengers Secret Wars. We've seen this playbook before. The closest parallel is Avengers Infinity War. That film was a landmark because the heroes lost. It ended on a note of cosmic horror, with the villain achieving his goal and fundamentally rewriting the rules of the universe. It was Thanos' movie, and his victory was necessary to set the stage for Endgame. The leaks explicitly state Marvel is using the same logic here, positioning Doom as the hero in the same way. This is a deliberate structural decision. Doomsday is part 1 of the finale, and in part 1, the antagonist must win. He must shatter the status quo so completely that the only path forward is through a new, terrifying reality. For Secret Wars to have the stakes it needs, the multiverse as we know it has to die first. Doom is the architect of that death. It's a necessary narrative beat. Think back to the final haunting moments of Loki. He walks to his throne, alone, accepting the burden of holding all of time and space together. We see the dead branches of the timeline flourish into a vibrant, tree-like structure. It was presented as a victory, a lonely but noble one. But it wasn't a victory lap. It was a pre-grieving. It was the shot that put him on the board as the most powerful and most vulnerable piece in the game. His final words, "For you, for all of us," were not an ending. They were an opening argument in a debate with a man who believes he knows better. This isn't random. That scene wasn't just about concluding Loki's arc, it was about positioning him as the heart of the multiverse, just in time for Dr. Doom to try and rip it out. So, let's add it all up. The clues all point to Doom being framed as the film's tragic hero. The narrative structure is built not around a single battle, but a multi-faction war between competing saviors. The timeline is perfectly sequenced to have Loki's new role collide with Doom's introduction. The personal stakes for Wanda and Loki are immense, and the entire framework is a direct parallel to the Infinity War model. The evidence doesn't suggest that Doom is right. It points to a far more chilling conclusion. Avengers Doomsday is a tragedy. It's a story where everyone is trying to save the world, and their combined efforts are what will ultimately destroy it, leaving one man to rule the ashes. Doom's plan, Loki's sacrifice, and the Avengers' resistance all lead to the exact same place. The inevitable conclusion is the creation of Battleworld. So no, Dr. Doom isn't the villain. He is the iron-willed catalyst for the end of everything we know. The real question isn't about who will win the war in Avengers Doomsday, it's about who will be left to fight for the scraps of reality in Secret Wars. But first, subscribe to Multiverse Leak to stay up to date on all the most recent news in the MCU.